Hello friends, welcome once again to this channel, that is Coding Jist. So today we will be deep diving into the Lambda, and if you have not watched my previous video on serverless and event-driven pattern, I would highly recommend to watch that video first. You will get the link in the I button. So let's get started. Lambda is a service which is provided by AWS, and it is called as function as service as well. Like you have heard about software as a service, infrastructure as a code, like this is a function as a service. When I say let's deep dive into the Lambda, right, so we'll be covering different aspects of Lambda. Also we will be covering theory as well as practical alongside. So what we will cover, right, so let's write it down. So first thing we'll cover what is cold start, then we'll cover what is resolved concurrency, what is provision concurrency, when we should use Lambda layers, how to optimize cost for Lambda, right, when you are using this Lambda on the large scale. So I have seen the systems where you are using hundreds and hundreds of Lambda, right, to support one system. So let's start with first what is cold start. To understand the cold start, right, so let me give you the analogy, right. So suppose you want to start a bike, right, so first what you do auto ignition, and then the fuel goes in, and then the engine starts, and then your bike runs, right. So the same way, when you try to invoke the Lambda, do some initialization steps, right. So if you can see in the diagram, let me change the cover of this. All right, so if you see in the diagram, first thing we are trying to invoke the Lambda, right. So once you invoke the Lambda, it will first provision the container, like you provision the EC2 container, right. So it provision the container, then get the runtime. So we have different types of runtime, as like Node.js or Python or .NET or Ruby, whatever you want to run it, right. Then it will fetch the code, right, from the S3 bucket or where you have saved the code. Then it will resolve the dependencies, and then it will execute your logic, right. So this is what the first initialization step is known as the cold start, right. It takes some time. So as soon as you invoke the Lambda, it will not just start executing your code. It takes some time. So this is the major drawback in the Lambda, which we will see how we can solve in our further deep dive session. And once the execution is complete, it will return the code, and then it will shut down. So let's see some more deeper image, right. So suppose you are a client, right, you're trying to invoke this Lambda, right, and then first what it will do, it will create, and then once the initialization steps which you have seen here, right, is completed, then it will come into the ready stage, right. Once the stage is ready, then it will run your code, and then responses back to you. So this is how the complete process of Lambda, right. So let's understand a little bit more. So this is only happens, one thing to notice over here is this only happens for the first request only, right. If you are sending your request first time, then it will initialize, execute, and then terminate, right. So once it is initialized properly, then from the next time onwards, what it will do, it will skip this step, the init step, right. So you are not seeing here the init step. So this is the first request, then this is the second request. So it is already initialized. If you see in this image, right, the initialization step is already there. So when you try to invoke, it will directly invoke from here. So the client request come directly from here to here, right. So it will invoke directly. So it will skip the cold start. So cold start will only happen for the first time, not for the remaining invocations. But again, right? One thing to notice over here, if the lambda get terminated, right? If the lambda get terminated, then next time again it will try to initialize the thing. So if the lambda is not terminated and you will send the another request, it will not do the cold start. And if the lambda get terminated and if you try to send the another request, then it will try to do cold start, right? So this is how the cold starts work, or the drawback, you can say it's a major drawback in the lambda, right? So we will see also, so now we'll see the practical example of this. So let me go to lambda function. Okay, let me go change my region over here. So I came to North Virginia region because in the other regions which is nearby me, the function URL is not, that feature is not available in the other regions. So I'll show it to you. So let me create a coding just hello, right? So I'm choosing this runtime. We'll see each and everything in upcoming videos for advanced configuration, as well as each and everything, right? So which you are trying to see. So as of now, what I'm trying to do, I'll be enabling the function URL. Lambda won't perform. As of now, I'm just enabling the function URL so that I can invoke it by default. Okay, just create function. So now you can see we have the function URL, right? So let me copy this function URL. Let it load properly. Now you can see that we have a simple template which is returning hello from lambda. So to invoke this, let me go to the postman. Let me close this. Let me add one request. This the get request. So you need to notice on the response for the first response and the second response, right? So let me send the first response. So you can see that it is taking some time, right? So it takes approximately 4.29 seconds, right, to get the first response. Now let me hit the second time, right? See, 3.69 millisecond. I'll send again, 3.75 millisecond, right? 3.4. So what I explained, right? So first time it will take some time to initialize all the things, load the code and each and everything. Once it is initialized successfully, from the second request onwards, it will only take less time, right? Since the lambda is already warm. But if you spend, if you will not send some request till 7 to 8 minutes, approximately 10 minutes, and if you try to initialize this again, then the first request, right, will again take some time, which I have just explained you over here, right? So the first request, it takes some time, right, over here. From the second request, it does not take much time. It only take the time to execute the code. And suppose you have passed 10 minutes or some more, right, where the lambda got terminated. Means not lambda, I mean to say the container which you have invoked got terminated. Then again it will initialize for the first time, and the second request onwards it will take lesser time. So I hope you understood the concept of the cold start, why it is happening, and this is the major drawback. We will see how we can resolve the cold starts. We have multiple ways to resolve this cold start, right? So thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned and subscribe for more such videos and upcoming videos, right? I request you to please subscribe this channel and share with your friends. Thank you. Have a great day.